Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Vanessa Simpson, the founder of Fifth Dimension Therapy and our signature program, the Healers Academy. And I am just so overly in love with just the process, right? Me and Chris were just jamming out about, being in the process, and it's being okay in the process, appreciating the process. And we're never going to fully arrive, right? As soon as we think that we arrive, there's another level, another level, another level. And so I'm just so grateful and honored to have Chris here. He just went through our Healers Academy, and he's going to share some of his love and light and just experience of what this was for him. So, Chris, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Yes, of course. So, what I know that we've been connected for quite a while, and you've been seeing my content for a while, been in Fifth Dimension Humanity, but what really drew you into joining this 6-month transformation of the Healers Academy?
I think a big part of it was you, and just being the person that you are. So I was drawn to you very early on, like energy wise, and
Yeah.
And I told you before too, like like the baby face guru. I'd see a like baby face up there, and then just the stuff that would come out. I was so impressed with your wisdom, and you know, so. And then just as for myself, like I've always felt drawn to healing. I've always attracted people that needed healing, and I kind of intuitively had tools to do it, but not really anything. I hadn't really studied anything or practiced anything, or just kind of winging it, and just just doing it with my own whatever I picked up along the way, just from life, really. But I wanted to really put it all together and have some actual like real tools to help people.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Chris was the father figure of the group of women that were in this. He was strong in his divine masculine while also balancing his divine feminine for this group. So what was your experience of the group that came together for the Healers Academy? How did that change you, affect you, transform you?
Yeah, our group was, it was very special. It's still very special to me. Like we're still, it's been a month or so, and we're still all in touch, and we're very, very close, and we're very connected. And I did feel a little funny in the beginning, like when I first found out I was the only guy there, and everybody was kind of a little bit younger than me. They were a lot younger than me. But I actually learned. I learned so much from everybody else. I thought like I said, just being my age, like you look at people, in their 20s, like it looks like kids, So I'm like, and then I was just amazed at the amount I was able to learn, and from everybody, the connection we had, and the support that we had from each other. Like when people were going through stuff or just struggling with something, like everybody just stepped up. Whether it was on the schedule or not, like people would just come to each other's aid and help each other out, and we still do it now. It's and like we did a cleanse, which was amazing, and actually kind of changed my life. Honestly, it changed my way of eating. We did it again after the class. Like we did it. A bunch of us got together and did it again, and I would never have done that on my own. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of everybody. So that was huge. Like having everybody there was huge, and we had a great, amazing, beautiful group of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, made a big.
Wow. Oh, beautiful. I love that. What has been the your biggest takeaway from the group going through the healing process? I know that originally your interest was Reiki, and then you found out like, oh wow, like there's a lot more that we're learning here. So what was the biggest impact for you personally that you went through in the Healers Academy?
I think the thing that I was surprised actually was the most of like our daily breath work. Um, the transformation that I've had from that is, I want to say like miraculous, but I don't want to like do like over, but it's really, it was pretty special. And again, that's something I wouldn't have done on my own, but because we had the group, and you know, like it's part of the process. We showed up for each other, um, and I, you know, got to the part I just look forward to seeing everybody every day, and then so that was like another like motivation to do it. And then after months, like the transformations that were happening from that, and like the spiritual growth that came from that, and it's something that I never really thought much about, but it's, you know, I ended up having like a Kundalini awakening because of that, and also because which scared me a little bit, because when you hear about that, like some people, it's very traumatic for people, but it was because of all the work, you know, that I've done previously, and all the work that we did in this group. It was very gentle. Like it was physically, it was a little exhausting, but it didn't like turn my life upside down. But the breath work absolutely triggered that, and it was amazing. And you know, continuing that with you and, you know, on your Patreon, and I have to get better at practicing it myself on my own time, which I'm not as, have a little issue with self-discipline, which I'm working on. But but yeah, that was probably for me, that was probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, that's huge, because breath work it's a spiritual discipline, and just like the cleanse that we did as well, and fasting and all of that, they're spiritual disciplines. And when we can learn to get you know, more familiar in the uncomfortableness that can come up on the journey, we become resilient. And so that's wonderful that you had that big of an impact, because it's shifted and changed and transformed my whole entire life as well. So I'm so happy to share that with you guys. What was your for your own healing? What was something that was, you know, really that you were really struggling with, that you had a big breakthrough in regards to your healing?
It was probably my anger. I have a little bit of a temper, and it's just like with stupid stuff, but yeah, I have a tendency like to throw stuff and just punch walls and like just stupid stuff like that, and for really like stupid reasons. So that's something that I had issues with, you know, for probably most of my life, and it just kind of taught me like just to be more. And I think part of it was being the only man, because we had, you know, it was all women, so I had like more of a feminine balance there to be like, you know, like you don't have to like act like that, you know, you don't have to punch walls and scream and yell. Like you could be like, we're trying to bring out the more feminine side of me, like just to release it in a different way, and just or just sit with it for a minute, you know, just be like, all right, I'm pissed off, and it's all right to be pissed off, and just kind of let it pass, and then, you know, move on with your life, like instead of punching a hole in the wall, or, you know, throwing something across the room, or, you know. So that was probably the biggest thing for me personally.
Yeah. No, that's great. I love that so much. So your biggest gift that you received going through this experience, what has that been for you? Whether if it was just the experience, or that you're taking away and implementing.
So I'm probably gonna get emotional now, but probably the biggest good was the connections, I think, with the group. Yeah, because, you know, it's a special group of people, and you know how connected we all are. So for me personally, that was the biggest thing for me.
Right. Yeah. And why do you feel like that was just so miraculous for you, the connections and the support of that?
I think for me, because a lot of times I'm the type of person who's like, I just got to do it like on my own. Like, if I want something done, I would just kind of just put it on myself, and I wouldn't ask for help, which is something that came up in the group too. Like where, you know, where I was having a tough time, like I wouldn't ask for help, and it was something that you guys really helped me with. Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. But again, like being, you know, having that feminine touch to kind of nurturing, loving, gentle touch to kind of bring that out, you know, whereas if it was a bunch of guys, I don't know, it might have been a little different. maybe
Right.
it would, maybe, depending on the group, I don't know with the dynamics, but this particular group, that's how it worked out. Mm.
Right. And I definitely just want to that touch on that too, because you were able, as a man, you were able to ask for help to the group of women aging from, the 28, 22 all the way to 40,
Mhm.
just the you coming to the group and asking for the help that you needed to a group of women, no matter, like, because I know a lot of men can struggle with that, especially like
Yeah.
to a group of women, like, I
Mhm.
need help type of thing. And so that's really that's very transformative. And so how has that shifted your perspective, you showing up in that way, being someone that was on their love, I'm going to do this on my own, to now I'm starting to ask for help? How has that affected you moving out of the Healers Academy?
It's just nice knowing that it's there and knowing that like I can do it, and I don't have that the I guess like the ego of like being I gotta be the big strong man, like that kind of a feeling.
Yeah.
Um, which I'm for the most part, I think I'm pretty balanced with that, but there is still some of that there where like I have to be the strong one, and being like a father too of a teenage girl, like I still have that, like I got to be this strong for my daughter, um and I was always like the strong male in my family because it was kind of a lot of toxic masculinity. So it was like a kind of a big theme throughout my life. Um, so definitely it helped me a lot with that, and it definitely transformed that for me. It makes it, I can see it now where it's not a weakness. It's actually like a strength to actually kind of put yourself out there like that,
Wow.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is beautiful. So, in regards to your purpose and your purpose as a healer, how did the Healers Academy help you with realigning with that and stepping into that more fully?
Um,
Or the clarity that you received in regards to your purpose and your purpose as a healer? And
yeah, I think it helped me because I kept getting this message in different ways that to kind of like just be a light where I was, like wherever I happened to be, just kind of be of service. And it kind of annoyed me, to be honest with you. It was frustrating because I wanted like a more direct message, like do this, like just do A, B, C, and that's it. But it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. But it did kind of become clear to me after doing this to, regardless of what I do, like just be of service. However it shows up in my life, like it could be at the supermarket or at my job, or whatever it is. Just always put yourself to be of service and like serve spirit of the universe or God, however you choose to see it. Um, but that was probably the biggest message for me.
yeah.
Just to, yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. So anyone that's watching this and they are either aspiring healers or they are already a healer and looking to go deeper and align with their power and purpose more fully, what would you have to say to them about this process and where they could be?
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, obviously Vanessa's amazing. Um, having, like I said, having the group support um, is unbelievable. It's a lot, and like we have the chat that's open all the time, and if you need something, somebody's always there. Um, and you're very available too. But you're always around, and if somebody needs something, you're always there to answer questions or offer support. Or um, so that's a big part of it. Um, and it's so much, like when I first started, I thought it was just mainly a Reiki class. I thought we were going to be doing like mostly Reiki, and there's so much more to it. There's just so many other things that we ended up doing. Um, and I know like it was almost like a little fluid. Like we just kind of like, as the group kind of evolved, like I know like you kind of tweaked the course a little bit as we were it's kind of seeing like where we were going. You were kind of tweaking it along the way to kind of fit what we were doing, which was amazing. Which I love that too. That it's not like set. It wasn't like set in stone. Like this is what we're doing and this is how it's going to be done. It was like, I see you guys are kind of drifting this way, so let's kind of take the course a little bit this way. And um, made it more fun too. It made it more interesting because it wasn't like we kind of weren't like locked in. So like, you know, if everybody wasn't like feeling like a certain thing, it wasn't like we had to, well, the course says we have to do this for 3 more weeks. So, you know, you're going to hate it and it's miserable. Like we're going to keep, which we didn't, I mean, I don't think that didn't really come up like that, but I'm just saying like the point is like, you kind of like, I think almost like fed into our strength, like kind of leaned into our strengths. And then like, you know, see, this is like, you guys seem to be really into this and be really good at this. Let's go more in this direction. And yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. I was like, I can't recommend it enough. It was fantastic. Like just everything about it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I love that so much. So I know that we also had amazing other facilitators come in and share their magic. So what was your experience like with the other facilitators? Was there anything in particular that you really enjoyed of the other teachers that came?
Yeah, I liked them all, to be honest with you. They were all great. And it was nice, like I said, like to kind of mix things up a little bit. So it was, you know, a little bit different here and there. And they were all fantastic. I mean, I'm more into like the psychic kind of stuff too. That's kind of where it's kind of like that's what I do like in my spare time almost. Like I just kind of, you know, it's just fun for me. So that I kind of probably enjoyed that a little bit more. But there was other stuff too, like that I learned, like you had Summer on, she's a medium, and yeah, I was like freaking out a little bit, like I don't want to see like dead people and stuff like that. But like I learned so much from her. Yeah, that was a fantastic class too. So I was like pleasantly surprised. But yeah, they were all fantastic. I liked all of them. The elemental class that we had was great. You know, the nutrition class, everything. You know, we covered a lot of different areas. It was great. And like I said, it kept it fresh and it kind of kept everybody like on their toes because it wasn't, you know, repetitive. It was always like we're jumping from a different one thing to another. And so,
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that aspect up, because when it comes to the chakras, you can really go very deep into them, and it's a continuation. It's a journey, the journey through the chakras, and so the nutrition and how we are connected to our bodies, and you know, then moving up into working with the elements and developing your own type of energy healing. And that's something that we really I really emphasize in this course, because there's all different types of Reiki, there's all different types of energy healing modalities out there. Who created them? People just like us.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like opening up to your own inner guru as a healer, and you guys were just so amazing at, you know, bringing in different elements. And I know you had some really interesting, like, you know, tools and stuff like that really resonated with you. And that's what it's about, is that when you get into your own mojo, as my mentor calls it, you just really access a lot of power that way. And not enough the typical courses, they are really, you know, you're learning something, which is great, and they're great to have, but it's also great to have that space to go inward and to access your own wisdom. And so having that flow, and that way too, that you guys can try out different things and see, oh, maybe I'm more of like a physical healer. I want to work with herbs or nutrition, right? Or if I want to do more of the psychic stuff, or, you know, working with the earth. And there's just so many different aspects that we can go into. And it's fun.
It is fun. And like with the elementals too, like I used to kind of mess around with Reiki before I really understood it, but I kind of had an idea what it was, and I felt like I had like a knack for it. And I didn't know anything about elementals, but I was using elementals without really understanding, even knowing that there was such a thing as elementals. So then when we had that class, it was like, oh, that's what I've been doing. Like, and it was kind of like an intuitive thing. And I'm sure other people do that as well. But it's now like to kind of understand what we're actually doing, how it works, and to add onto that, you know, the other stuff that's involved with that, you know, we didn't know because we just never had experience to it. But yeah, it was great.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for sharing your experience. And for those of you that are staying tuned in and watching this, definitely reach out to me personally. I'm a very personal person, so you can reach out and have a conversation with me if you're really feeling called to this type of transformation. It's really calling to you. It is a calling. And so just lean into that, whether it's this process and this program, or it's something else that you're doing. All that I'm seeking to do is to inspire others to really align with their purpose in life. And if that's healing, like it is for me and many others, and I believe that we all have a healer within us, a master healer. So just lean into your gifts, lean into your strengths, and can apply for a breakthrough call with me and have a call with me. Let's have a chat and talk about it. And yeah, just have a wonderful journey, everybody. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, very welcome.